Well, on to our game. It's called Lease This Brand. We're going to show you brands that are either brand new or in trouble, and you're going to tell us where you would lease their location in Los Angeles.
Okay.
First one is an easy one. It's Talentless by Scott Disick. This is a millennial brand. It's online only. They do a lot of gifting at Netflix and other areas. Where would you put Talentless?
I would put them on Melrose, east of Melrose Place for two reasons. One, they're in the West Hollywood area. And two, if it's not a brand that has a huge name yet, they're not going to pay the Melrose Place rent and the rent of La Cienega to Robertson area. And because of him, they'll bring the crowd. So I would probably put him right there, right where Rebecca Minkoff used to be, where I have a listing now.
All right. Curveball. Blockbuster wants to come back, and they're going to rent, I don't know, movies, or they're going to rent movies. Where would you like for a nostalgic pop-up to put Blockbuster?
Probably Tower Records, Sunset Boulevard.
Good call. That's an amazing answer. Good job, Jay. Next one, Madhappy. Yes, we know they have a location. Where would you put their second location?
I'm actually involved with doing it right now with my friend Kareen. We're doing it together, and I could tell you where they're really going to go, or I could tell you where they were looking. But they're looking in that Melrose area, similar to the corner I just mentioned, and they were on Melrose Place and had a great run and following there. So somewhere on Melrose where Earth Cafe is, which is a great block, a lot of people, up to Melrose Place area and a little east of that. He
aced the game. Lease This Brand. That was really impressive, Jay. I'm impressed. You said my passion is for fashion brands and helping them find locations to buy. It's just what I love. What's a fashion brand that you haven't worked with that you'd like to?
By the way, it says to buy, but I think they meant to lease. But when I was originally quoted that, I was probably saying to find them locations to lease, because most fashion brands don't buy, except for some that I've sold to on Rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
But who have I not worked with?
Fashion brand you have not worked with that you'd like to?
I don't. That's a great question. I don't know. I love
he's worked with everyone. It's so hard.
Well, I actually work with Kith, a sneaker brand, and love them. And they're like, sneaker culture is really important to me. I'm wearing sneakers now, and I have a little bit of a craze for them. Just some Nikes.
Cool.
But I love Air Jordan 1s and the original stuff and everything. I mean, Strange Loves and this and that. I have a whole love for it. So I like sneaker culture, and I actually think it's important. But I do rep Kith. But I'm not going to, I don't know if I'd throw out another name. I'm always trying to talk to young new designers. And if you go back and look at some of the brands and their first stores, it's kind of fun to see, like James Perse first store 20 years ago, Allison Olivia, like second store.
Right.
Tory Burch was driving in a car with me looking, and no one knew who she was. If you go back, I've had some cool experiences with brands that we now all know. And that's fun. And I intend and hope to stay relevant, because really, I'm a 49-year-old that thinks he's 25. And I plan on staying that way, because as much as I'm in touch with younger culture and I think I'm young, I rep them throughout LA, and I stay young and I love what I do. But you have to keep in touch with the young, up and coming, unknown generation to become relevant and continue to be relevant.
I love that. The words from the wise. Let's take another question, because I have to let you go soon. We need a revitalization of commercial real estate in LA. So many vacant stores. What is the future of retail? Nadia Seeker is asking.
Okay, so I get asked that question, and I appreciate that. One thing I would say is there's no written rule that every space has to be filled. Right. When was LA or any city created? Why is one space chopped up and one huge? And if you think about it, when there's vacancy, it scares people. But look how many brands within that are successful. And right now, you're not wrong. It's going to get worse before it gets better for at least 1 year. Right now, when the ban is lifted and you can evict a tenant, there are landlords who may not even have a second backup that are so angry they weren't getting rent. There will be a war, and they will evict, whereas others will work things out. Our job is to try to beat that as much as we can and place tenants. But there aren't so many tenants to fill all the spaces. It's not,
right.
It's not like that always. So all I can do in my world and my other co-brokers that have the care for LA that I do is bring the best that you can to an area, and others will eventually follow.
And you said that you've said before in other interviews that, you know, just because a brand has an online presence doesn't mean they don't need a storefront. And some of the most successful brands are coming to you for storefronts like Goop, you know, that, but you say keep it small and keep it targeted.
By the way, Goop would be, to answer your back question, who would I work with? That would be one that I know them, they're great. I don't rep them, but that would be one that I would have a field day repping around 5 or 6 little towns in the country, from Aspen to the Hamptons to LA. Like, that's a good brand that would be fun. They're in Brentwood Country Mart.
Yes.
Well, some brands start online and then they come into the space. I know that it's been popular for a long time to be online only and digitally native, and there's terminology for it. And a lot of very successful people make their money online, and a lot of brands at their core, when they go online, you hear about sales going up 20, 30, 40%. So online is without a doubt huge, but I'm just a real estate guy that does street deals. So if I'm going to stay alive, I have to spend time doing street deals. So my job is to make streets as cool as they can be with restaurants and retail that you want to be there. That's all I can offer. But
exactly,
think about the reality. You go into a Fred Siegel at its height, you know, and there's outdoor and there's all this action. And a lot of brands, including Fred Siegel now, have come back doing that concept, because being around food and vibe and people, and you know, you like, you go to the gym and there's people around. A lot of people miss that, and a lot of people don't want to go back to their gym. But
I
you
think
want to be around people.
Yeah, I think it's like Disneyland, like a brand. Even if Disney puts out movies every year, but you need that location.
I mean, look, what if I ordered this online, Montclair, which doesn't fit because half of them are too up here and like meant for skinny little, you know, people. I'm like, you know,
skinny skiers.
It's not for me. But like, what if I ordered online? It's gonna come up too short. So like, I went and it's longer. You have to sometimes go do that.
Right.
It's old school now.
You want to have that shopping experience, even if there's one location in the world, you would make it a destination location for that brand. I love that. What do you want your legacy to be?
I love that. I think that
Carl Siegel's asking the question.
Okay. I guess that my business is like, what you see is what you get. And I've been around a lot of brokers in my life and people that are in sales, and I don't love how they all are. I like how some of them are. And the best thing that I've ever been able to do in my business, I befriended my clients. They gain a trust, and you grow out, you become friends, whatever the word is. And you call each other when you're not looking for space. You hang out when you're not looking for, it's not all about work. So I guess just that what you see is what you get, and that in this business, the more real you are, long-term, it takes you to a better place. I know a broker out there that just emailed us yesterday, and all he cares about is like, the commission. Okay, but like, if that's all you care about, do you really care about the tenant and the mix and the area and what it's going to do to my town when you come in and invade with a tenant and all you care about is commission? So I'm protective over LA. I really care about more than just that. It's the landscape. So I guess my legacy would be that I helped change the landscape of a town that I love.
I love it. But who's going to take over Jay Luchs when you're done, Jay? Is it going to be your team?
My team.
I love it.
And I hope we all live so long that it doesn't happen, but I'm loyal to my team and they're loyal to me.
Question, how important, we know you're an art lover, how important is art in a commercial space? Your whole house is filled with art. I mean, you barely have a wall behind you.
I didn't know anything about art before I started. I didn't know anything about art 10 years ago, and I bought a house that had empty walls. And I had photographs, because I'm a photographer, of like all my own stuff in my apartment. And when I moved into a house with walls, it got me into it. And now I really just love contemporary art. Ed Ruscha, Barbara Kruger, the list goes on. There's an art piece behind me. I was going to ask my art advisor, like, who is it again? Because that's not like some crazy piece. It's just a cool UCLA up-and-coming artist. Yeah. It was at Art Basel, but it wasn't some crazy piece. But I love it, and it sticks out. And I like to buy up-and-coming and also some of the big names that we know.
But do you think art is important in a commercial space?
Well, absolutely. I mean, we could go on and on for hours on that one. I mean, right now I'm talking to the city of West Hollywood about actually activating some spaces with art. They have a program and they've reached out to me to do that. And we're talking right now about actual art in spaces while they're empty. And of course I said, if it doesn't affect my leasing and I can show the space, let's do it. In fact,
Yes,
I encourage it. And I've done a lot. I mean, there's artists, 5 or 10 I could probably name, that I found them a space and they were able to launch out of it and bring people and have a party and that kind of thing. And it's been exciting being a part of it.
I told you I'd only have you for 15 minutes, but it's too interesting to let you go, Jay. What is the best advice you've ever received, and why did you leave CBR for Knight Frank?
Because he's saying that because he used to work at my company, ran the office, and helped pull me in. but I'm going to say to him, when I was at CBRE, a company that I still love and respect, but they told me at the time something along the lines of, your bonus is our platform, okay? Like that kind of thing. Where Newmark came after me, was like, we want you to have more people and we want you to do this and that. And like, it became more of like an exciting entrepreneurial conversation. And I loved it because it was like that. But CB was wonderful for 12 years, but Newmark has more of an entrepreneurial kind of vibe for me. And the head CEO and chairman of the parent company, Howard Lutnick, he's actually like deals directly, and at the time was excited and showed some love. So I really was excited. And Mike Arnold, thank you for actually being like a day-to-day guy that I could call and say, what's it really like over there? Because at the time I took a chance. It wasn't, there weren't as many people there. It was kind of new to LA.
Thank you so much for your time. I know that you're super, super busy with all these things that you're leasing. But I wanted to just quickly go a little bit with Jay back in the day. Okay. You post a lot of pictures on your Instagram of you as you young and you as celebrities. Tell us, like, were you in this picture? Were you trying to be an actor?
Yes.
You look like George Michael's hotter brother.
Look
at here. Wow.
Yeah. Amazing. You know, when I was 23 years old, I would sit on the beach more and get a suntan. I'm going to get a tan this summer, though. I'm sitting on a beach all summer.
I had to throw these up to embarrass you. Here you are with Perse Hilton and P. Diddy.
I did Puffy's office lease. We had a great experience together.
I love that. Jay, back in the day. Jay, what are some of your final words of wisdom for our audience before you leave? Like,
well, I would say if it was before COVID, they might be different than during COVID. But here's what I see. A lot of people are down and out.
Yes.
And no matter what level you're on, it's scary. I don't know what level I'm on compared to, like, you know, the real big ballers in the world, but I'm on a good one and it's scary for me. So I think at the end of the day, I think if you can somehow find something that gets you excited, it will lead to your forgetting how bad things are. So as things get better, you'll be in a better place. So right now, if you're confused, like, what am I going to do with my life? It's hard to pick out something, but when you do pick it out, it could be a couple of year process. Like, be careful on what you choose. And actually, my advice is choose something that has a career on it too, like where you can work your way up. A lot of people like to skip being an assistant. Being an assistant was the greatest thing I ever did. Getting yelled at or getting where you feel stupid, but that's how you get to the next level. So I guess if you're young enough and you're actually really looking to do something with your life, be someone's assistant and learn and do that. Don't skip and think it's going to all come because, like, you watch Instagram and someone's on a boat and you think that's normal. It's not normal. It's hard out there. You know, this didn't just happen. No one handed anything. It was like many years of grueling work. And by the way, all night last night, it doesn't end till 10 o'clock in my kitchen. Like, it's hard work.
Right. It's hard work. Assistant life is important, and also stay youthful. I'm going to leave it with this quote from you. Again, I thought maybe it's time to get into a business that, what I've heard, gets better with age. I totally agree. Jay, you are our king of commercial real estate and our city shaper. And I thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a great honor to speak with you. I wanted to have you on for months, and I'm so happy we did it.
Thank you. I'm honored too. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
You're the best. Everyone, the king of commercial real estate, Jay Luchs.
Thank you, man.
Awesome.
Take care.
Thanks so much. Bye, Jay.
Bye. Take care.
The most incredible interview and my city shaper. I mean, he really does change neighborhoods, and just tell us what this city is going to be. He has a vision. He knows everyone, and I'm really honored to have Jay on the show. Jay, thank you so much for your time. That was a longer episode than normal because he's so fantastic that we're going to chop it up into 2 episodes. And if you guys missed any of the show, you can check out the full episode on our IGTV and also on our podcast on Spotify and on iTunes. Just search Society Group and Real Talk. I'm Alexander Ali, your host. I've got to get back to work so I can become J Luchs like this. You guys get back to work too. Thanks for keeping it Real Talk. Bye-bye.